Okay.
All right. We are recording now. So, all right. I'm Steve from PNP News, and we have News Now Colorado here, News Now Houston, and Bunny Boots. And the topic is what's been going on with News Now Colorado. His first audit, I guess it was his debut to the world.
Right.
Two news agencies got a hold of his story. Of course, we all got a hold of his story. So he's exploded into probably everybody in the auditing world knows who he is now. So
it's a good thing.
It's kind of hectic for you since all this broke.
Oh man, it's been crazy. I mean, dealing with all the emails and messages from people, like trying to sort through and find the specific people I'm trying to get a hold of. So yeah, it's been a little crazy. Not to mention, getting contacted by news agencies trying to interview me for it, and trying to talk to attorneys and whatnot. So I've had a lot going on for sure.
Well, I know that News Now Houston, I think it was probably the biggest one talking to you since it happened.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let David jump in there and do his thing.
Well, I was surprised at how many media favorable laws Colorado has. That the governor up there is just signing laws that help us, left and right. That's a good thing. And the way you were quoting the law to those guys, dude, they got nothing. When they go get dragged into civil court, they are screwed. And it's because they were stupid, and B, because you caught them conspiring after the fact.
Right.
Yeah. So you did a good job. It's a lot of people don't understand how stressful it is, when you're dealing with people who can just pull a gun out and kill you at will.
Right.
And you handled it really well.
Well,
I have to say, I don't think I've known any auditor on his first trip out that managed to catch so much with so little.
Right.
Especially a younger guy. I mean, most young people don't have the experience to handle, in life in general, to handle a stressful situation like that. Usually it takes a few years and some time spent in different situations. I think I was more nervous watching you than you were. Because I was really worried about how you were going to handle it and what they were going to do to you.
Yeah.
I was too, man. I was just, the whole time I was just sitting there like, I didn't do anything wrong. I'll be all right. That's kind of what was going through my head the whole time.
But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. You know how many times I've gone to jail for not doing anything wrong, for not breaking the law? It happens. It happens. And there'll be people, and I know you've gotten a lot of crap from people about, because you did in the very end ID, okay? But
right.
Here's what I say about that. Well, I got to watch my language. I keep it PG. Screw them. That's your call to make. You're the one that's there. You're the one that has to suffer the consequences. And ultimately, it's your decision. And don't let anybody tell you any different.
And
well, thank you.
David and I have talked about this many times, and we all concur. It's the individual auditor's decision on any given day how they're going to handle that, because they're the one that pays the price. These naysayers and people that give you a hard time, don't even pay attention to them. Hey, buddy.
They're the
word warriors.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: they're not the ones footing the bill on that. That's the whole problem. If they could foot the bill, or they foot the bill for us, that would be a different story. But in the end of it, we're the ones that have to put the money up in the first place, and we're the ones that have our lives disrupted, our jobs interrupted, our personal lives dealing with family and all that stuff gets interrupted. A lot of stuff gets thrown into the wind when you end up getting thrown in jail, especially over bullshit like what we've seen. Me and David have both experienced this ourselves personally.
Now, we just lost like Southside Slacker. He's told us he's out of it. They just arrested him again for disorderly, even when he wasn't, and it cost him 3 jobs. They just go after him. But anyway, he's out of it, but I can understand. There's a lot to this stuff. So,
that's part of the reasons why I did a video this summer specifically about the about the risks for doing this, because besides all the impacts personally when it comes to an arrest, the battle for even the court battles themselves are, I mean, hard on the body, hard on the mind, and can easily affect people around you too. On top of that,
Did you see what happened to that guy up there in Pocatello that was recording the FBI building after my El Paso arrest?
Yeah.
Probably not off the top of my head. I
haven't
haven't been.
seen that yet. I
They
don't think.
they dropped one of his charges and picked up another one. I forget what it was now. Not disorderly conduct, but something along those lines. And they convicted him, and he had to pay a small fine. And I guess he got a little bit. That was the extent of it. It was just like a $50 fine. But you know, people don't understand that the court battles are the hardest. It's the going to jail is the easy part. You know, it's the court battle that lasts a year after the fact. You know, and things like that.
That's always hanging over your head.
Yep. And in some places, you know, out in California, basically your conditions of bond will be that you have to identify yourself and you have to tell the police who you are and that you're on bond and all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's just like being on probation out there. A lot of places, you know, it just gets crazy. And, you know, again, the court thing, I don't know how it is in Colorado, but here in Houston, you know, when you go to court, there's 5,000 other people going to court, and you have to go through metal detectors. That takes time, and you have to sit in court. You get there at 8 o'clock in the morning. The judge doesn't even get on the bench till 10, you know, and then, you know, you're out of court 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon with a reset, so you can come back next month and do it. And they bring you back there every 6 to 8 weeks to do it all over again, and they just reset you. They're just trying to wear you down. And
reset after reset after reset, just to cost you more money and annoy the hell out of you.
Yep, and that is part of the problem, you know. But we're getting into a different
Yeah.
circumstance.
Yeah, we are.
Go back to News Now, Colorado. Don't let me monopolize the conversation.
Yeah, but I have to say, congrats on having an opening video as big as yours, because not too many of us, we have a video that, I mean, we have our opening shot that's huge. I know mine was with the Atlanta TSA there, and I mean, I was picked up by just because of the sheer newness of what I was doing, but then again, I hopped in early. David, I mean, wasn't yours for breakout video actually the arrest of the Batosai? The one?
Yeah, it wasn't my arrest. It was Philip Turner's arrest. That was my breakout video.
Yeah.
I don't have a breakout video.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You just don't know it. It's on my channel. That MAS in Corpus Christi is always in the top 5 on my channel.
Yeah, it's still up there.
Yeah. But one thing I want to ask you, how long were you detained in the police vehicle?
I would have to guess anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was 20 to 30 minutes that you're stuck in the police vehicle?
Yep.
I got a question, but I'm sorry. I'm going to butt in real quick. I got a question, and if this doesn't need to be out there in the open, I'll cut it out. But do you have audio or video of stuff that happened that you haven't released yet?
Of that incident?
Yeah.
Yes, but not like really important things. I mean, I have kind of some small things I edited out, and then so that conversation I got them while my camera was on the back of the car. There was a probably good 10-15 minutes of that, but I couldn't. That was the only 2 minutes of conversation I could actually really like understand what they were saying. The rest was just kind of blurry. I mean, it was really windy, so that kind of affected the audio, so I couldn't really hear it. So I just kind of cut out some not so important things just to make the video shorter. I mean, you know, I altogether had probably an hour of footage, so it took a lot of effort to get that down to 17 minutes for sure.
I'm sorry, buddy.
What kind of camera do you have?
Yeah.
What kind of camera?
Well, as is, if it was over like a 30 minutes, well, over a certain amount of time of detainment, I would say we definitely would have a mirror case for for a Turner v. Driver kind of issue for your district, for your federal court district on the appellate level. But then again, also, with, if I remember correctly, Colorado in the last year or two, they passed a law specifically about it is a legal requirement to not interfere with people that are filming.
Yeah,
Am I
they did
correct?
a House bill, House Bill 15 something or other. I can't remember. It was passed back in 2015 though, and I did read that before I started doing any of this, and that's a big reason. I wasn't worried about it because they say it's supposed to be an automatic $15,000 fine if they interfere with your camera in any way, which they did twice.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean you got them on, I mean, the state statutes right there. So I mean you're the first test case right there, to levy that charge and accusation. They really screwed up just because of the state law.
Right.
And I mean that I have to say congrats on that part, because you're going to be the guinea pig to see if that will actually go through.
Well, yeah, thank you. It should definitely be interesting to see how it goes. I mean, I haven't been through the whole court process yet or anything like that, so I mean, I really have no idea, but
you probably will not really see anything for another 6 months, to be honest, before you'll start seeing any traction, because you got to deal with your criminal charges first before you. Or wait, no,
he didn't get any criminal charges.
Yeah,
I didn't get arrested or anything. They didn't even ticket me.
If anything, you need to file a straight-up complaint. You need to get a hold of the district attorney's offices and say, I want to press charges against this police department.
Okay.
That contact them with that law in hand and say, I want to press charges for this actual state statute, and make sure you go over that and figure out what's all that's needed. You need to tell them for all the facts. Is like, there's these penalties. I want to push this.
Okay.
Do you know how long after that lieutenant called and told them to let you go? Do you know how long they continued to hold you? That's going to be an issue in your civil case, I can tell you.
Honestly, I would say probably 5 minutes, because that's the whole thing they were waiting on while I was in the car, is they were trying to talk to their lieutenant. And that's the point kind of where I decided I was going to ID myself, and I asked them to call the lieutenant to make sure, hey, if I ID myself, like make sure with him that I'll be able to go. And they said, yeah. So they called him, and of course he confirmed that. So I ID'd myself, and I was out of the car, probably 5 minutes later.
I think it was some misunderstanding that we thought it was a longer amount of time. At least I did. I thought,
for some reason, I got the idea that it was closer to 45 minutes or an hour that they set you in the car.
Yeah, it was probably about a half an hour. I mean, that's a rough estimate. I can definitely go check my footage again and actually get a good time for it. But they did.
From the time he laid hands on you until the time they released you, okay? If that exceeded 20 minutes, they've exceeded their limitation on time.
It did.
Yeah.
It exceeded.
Of course, the police department and the DA won't do shit about that, but you have a good case for the rest of it.
Yeah, the civil side.
Yeah.
And since you're getting all this PR, I definitely recommend trying to get a hold of the ACLU in your state, and at least trying to see if they will be willing to help you out for a civil case.
Okay.
Yeah, you handled yourself well and no cussing, so
tried my best.
If you cuss on there, they won't touch you, but then you didn't.
Yeah.
You did fine. So
people don't understand. They're always, telling me you should have told him to whatever. Okay. What they don't understand is you can screw up a civil case that way.
Really?
Yeah, but I sure do like it when you do get that way. Like the other day.
Everybody has their moments, but generally speaking, once they go to the point of detaining you and cuffing you and stuff, the best thing you can do is invoke and shut up. That's really the best thing you can do. Now you've got, I hear a lot of bad about Colorado Springs, but the worst in your state is Denver. Denver is like Las Vegas. They don't like cameras, and they'll get physical with you.
No,
So I actually have
more corrupt. That means they are, because they're hiding something.
Exactly. Well, Denver is on my list of places to go. I'm going to be making a trip January, February, March, something like that. As spring comes in, I'll be coming up to Colorado.
Awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely plan on going up there with Colorado State Guardian in the near future, and I have a couple other people that are planning on doing it. I kind of created a little group chat within auditors that wanted to start up just here in Colorado, and a couple of them are up in Denver. So when we do go up there, we'll be meeting.
You've got a News Now Denver up there.
Okay. Yeah, I actually haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, you need to connect with him as well. He's on YouTube and what is it? Google Plus as well.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll definitely get in contact with him then.
I do what we do. We have a little chat where we all share stuff and keep an eye on each other when we go out. We let each other know what's going on and keep an eye on us, you know. And if you don't check in within an hour, we're on there. Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, or at least we try to make sure we network enough when one of our guys gets in trouble and stuff like that. I mean, a good recent example is what's going on with Tom Zebra there over in Vegas. As soon as that went out, we started networking behind the scenes going, okay, we need to get over there and help this guy out. So, and as is, it turns out there's a bunch of our guys that were going to be in the area over the weekend. So, surprisingly, a flooding amount, and I'm actually surprised One-Eyed Fox was also in Vegas.
Yeah, you know, One-Eyed Fox. When I used to walk at night, I'd get out. You know, after I was having some health issues, and going out for a walk at night would help my legs and everything, help me sleep. So I'd walk at night and take my camera with me and test the police, and he'd watch me. You know, he'd be there with me. You know, keeping an eye on what's going on, and I appreciated that because everybody else was asleep. You know, I'd be out there at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. But I may have to do a video and thank him now that he's starting to get out there. Give him a little publicity. But he's getting a lot of publicity now because he's down there in Vegas with the rest of the guys. So.
Man, I so wish I was in Vegas.
Yeah, me too.
I just don't know.
I think we all wish we could be there. All right.
Yeah.
But the reason I did this video because, you know, the subscribers like to be updated. And but the really long videos don't go over well, so I don't think we really have anything here, but I will give everybody a chance if anybody got anything else. Colorado, if you got a question you want to ask, go ahead and ask, or if anybody else wants something to say, go ahead.
Well, I would just say you guys should follow me on Bamboozer. I mean, I only have 2 followers on there, just in case anything else happens. Just because me and Colorado State Guardian do want to do a couple videos this week. So I mean, I don't know how that's going to go.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I didn't think about it. You know.
Yes, News Now Colorado on Bamboozer.
Well, thanks.
Is that
guys.
right?
Yep.
News Now Colorado on Bamboozer.
Yep.
Okay. I need to jump on there and go. I've got another one I need to subscribe to as well. But make sure. Okay, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen when you go live. There's going to be cops, Colorado Springs cops. I promise you. That will follow you on Bamboozer, and anytime you go live and they figure out where you are, they will call that place and warn them.
Okay.
So make sure that you keep your phone in your pocket or don't go live until you've got contact. That's what I've started doing.
Okay.
Turn your location off.
Turn location off and don't put anything in there as far as where you're at.
Okay.
Other than that, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep the cussing down where the videos are family friendly and look good in court, because you never know what video you're going to end up having to show in court.
Yeah, things could be going good, and all of a sudden another cop walks up that's got a bad attitude, and everything goes south.
Yep,
we've seen that many a time.
You did a good job. You did a good job on your first time out. You did a real good job.
Excellent job.
I appreciate it.
All right, guys, I'm gonna say good night to everybody. News Now Colorado, thanks for being here. David, Houston, thank you. Bunny Boots, thank you. And I'm going to go check and see what's going on in Vegas because I think they got a live Bamboozer going.
Uh-oh. I'm gone.
Yeah. See y'all later. Thank you, everybody.